Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're really plunging into one of humanity's oldest dreams. You know, the one whispered in myths, and now, well, science is chasing it hard. We're talking about living forever.
Human immortality. Yeah, it sounds like the ultimate prize, right? Escaping death. But what the sources we looked at reveals that this idea, it seems miraculous at first, but it quickly morphs into something incredibly complex, maybe even dangerous. It's potentially one of the most transformative ideas we've ever had to wrestle with.
Exactly. And that's our mission today. We're going to try and distill what these sources are saying. We'll look at the cutting edge science, the huge societal shifts it could cause, and there's really deep philosophical questions. The goal here is to help you get properly informed on this, well, monumental topic. Okay, so let's dive into the science first. The sources mention some pretty incredible breakthroughs that are already, pushing the limits of how long we live. What are some of the big things happening right now?
Well, the pace is kind of astonishing, actually. We're seeing things like genetic engineering that significantly slows down aging, at least in animal models like mice. And CRISPR technology, the gene editing tool.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Right, so that's being looked at to potentially repair the actual DNA damage that makes us age. And then there's cellular reprogramming, using things called Yamanaka factors.
Yamanaka factors?
Yeah, specific proteins that can basically rewind the clock on old cells, make them back young again. Sort of like a biological reset.
Wow, a reset. Okay, and looking beyond what's happening right now, what do the sources say about, future tech? Are we getting into real sci-fi territory?
Oh, absolutely. The sources definitely touch on that. Ideas like nanobots. Tiny machines patrolling our bodies, fixing things at a cellular level.
Like tiny repair crews inside you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And artificial organs are another big one, just bypassing wear and tear altogether. And then maybe the most out there idea is digital consciousness. Uploading your mind.
Uploading. Okay, so living outside a body.
Potentially. Yeah. And what's really striking is the time frame. The sources suggest immortality might not be centuries off. Maybe just decades.
Decades, that's really soon, relatively speaking.
So if the science is moving that fast, the question really shifts from can we to what happens if we actually do it? What are the massive implications if death just sort of disappeared?
Yeah, the sources are quite stark on that. The immediate, overwhelming problem, overpopulation. I mean, if nobody dies and people keep being born, we just run out of everything. Space, water, food, clean air.
So cities just swelling endlessly.
Pretty much. Cities swelling, forests vanishing. And you'd almost certainly see more conflict over resources. And this leads to a really challenging point in the sources. Society might actually have to consider stopping reproduction just to survive.
Stopping? Wow, that's huge. And with these kinds of massive changes, there's usually a darker side too. What about inequality? What do the sources say there? That's where it gets really worrying. Immortality, well, at least at first, probably wouldn't be for everyone. The sources suggest it would be incredibly expensive. Only the ultra-rich could afford it.
So a biological divide.
Exactly. More than just wealth. It could create a biologically distinct sort of ruling class, fundamentally changing what human even means. Think about it, a few people, enhanced, maybe immortal, running industries or countries for hundreds of years.
Like a permanent elite.
Right. And the sources suggest that could just completely erode social mobility, maybe even democracy itself, If power gets locked in like that forever, and that idea, that permanent power, it leads straight into the psychological side of things. The toll it could take. I mean, think about it. Our relationships, who we think we are, our purpose, it's all kind of built on having limited time, isn't it?
Right. Deadlines motivate us. Scarcity makes things precious.
Exactly. So what happens when time is infinite? Does love lose its urgency? Does ambition just fade away? The sources really question if our basic human nature, designed for a finite life, could even cope. It might not just be boredom, but like a real disintegration of your identity.
Oh, so?
Well, if you outlive everyone you ever knew, every culture you grew up with, if your memories just fade over centuries, who even are you anymore?
That's a heavy thought. Losing yourself over time. And that psychological cost, the potential meaninglessness, it really connects to some older warnings, doesn't it? What do the sources say about ancient wisdom on this?
Yeah, exactly. The sources remind us the ancient Greeks often saw immortality for humans as, well, a curse. And many religions, they frame death differently. Not as an end, but maybe transition, part of a cycle.
So the idea being that death gives life meaning.
That's a key insight from these texts, yes. That death provides urgency, makes life precious. Without it, the sources wrestle with what life becomes. Is it just a loop? A waiting room? Or maybe, just a digital copy that isn't really human anymore?
Okay, but it sounds like the sources also offer a more nuanced view. It's not just live forever or die.
Right. It's not necessarily that binary. The sources explore a whole spectrum. Immortality could mean much longer, healthier lives, extending our prime years way beyond what we think is possible now.
Yeah.
It could even mean having the choice, when and how to exit on your own terms. But the warning is still there. If we're not really careful about how we pursue this, we might end up trading our humanity for eternity and, well, lose what actually makes life worth living in the first place.
So it comes down to this, really. For you listening, knowing all these potential risks, these complexities, would you choose it? Would you choose immortality? Or is death maybe not a flaw in the system, but perhaps a crucial feature? What's the real cost of forever? Something to think about.